So world leaders will meet in the German city of Bonn to discuss the future of Afghanistan later on Monday. Around 100 countries and organizations are expected to attend, but two important groups aren't there. Pakistan's boycotting the event, and representatives from the Taliban aren't attending either. The Bonn conference is taking place after Human Rights Watch issued a scathing report on the state of Afghanistan's affairs. The Human Rights Group says the Afghan government's failed to improve basic rights over the past 10 years. Human Rights Watch says access to healthcare is still a major problem. Infant mortality and maternal mortality remain among the highest in the world. 1 in 10 children die before the age of 5, and a woman dies of pregnancy-related causes every 2 hours. The group says the Afghan government's made no serious effort to hold warlords and government officials accountable for corruption and crime. Human rights abuses are reportedly endemic within the justice system. Around 350 women and girls are in jail for moral crimes, many of which are not actually prohibited by law. For more, let's talk to Jalal Rabbani in Ottawa. He's a political consultant on Afghan affairs and son of the late Afghan President Burhanuddin Rabbani. Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Rabbani, the assassination of your father in September put paid to hopes that negotiations with the Taliban could begin to bear some kind of fruit. There were hopes that a single Afghan delegation, including the Taliban, could go to Bonn on Monday. That's not happening. So what are your expectations like, looking at the people who are going to Bonn?
We shouldn't be surprised with the fact that Taliban have decided, or their representatives, former Taliban, the so-called former Talibans, are participating in this conference. Neither is Pakistan. And without the participation of the two major factors behind problems in Afghanistan, I don't think this conference will bear any fruit. Just like in 2001, when they did not see and recognize the realities of the ground. In 2001, there was a government in place in Afghanistan. They were resisting Taliban for many years when the world was not paying any attention to the Taliban. At the time, my maternal father was the president, and his vice president, General Massoud, many times through their visits to the international world, including the United Nations summits, warned of these consequences that today we are facing. And unfortunately, this is the something that the Obama administration has inherited from the Bush administration, and particularly one gentleman in particular, Mr. Khalilzad, the former Bush envoy to Afghanistan. It was his personal decisions that led to the disaster, and I don't understand that what are we exactly celebrating or achieving with this 10th particular year of anniversary of the Bonn conference?
Well, I mean, there is this situation under which 10,000 more US troops are due to go home from Afghanistan by the end of the year. It's been calculated that Afghanistan will need $10 billion in aid next year alone. Already this past year, they've had $15.7 billion in aid. That constitutes 90% of public funding. So there is still a very important need for international help for the country.
The international studies have shown that this government and the policies of the world involvement in Afghanistan, the way they choose to do through their aid projects and military packages, has not been working. And it is time to perhaps reconsider what needs to be done in Afghanistan, including the way people of Afghanistan wants to live, which is a way of governing Afghanistan, because we have a presidential system that does not respect a parliament that we spend every year the money of the international community. You know, every election this has been the second, and we have spent a lot of money of the taxpayers' money of the other countries in order to achieve some sort of a democracy in my country. And you know, this system is contradicting itself every day. In every single way we see, you know, problems and obstacles, resolving the many issues. We do not have to convey lawyer areas. We do not have to meet in Bonn with 90 delegations. I mean, the money itself that they are using in Bonn could be used towards a very good cause. And I have one for them, which is building a school in Badakhshan, which is my province, for example. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars in places where the Taliban are burning schools, and yet the people who thrive to educate their children and thrive to be part of this international community, the peace process, the future of Afghanistan, they lack schools, they lack medications, they lack hospitals, and unfortunately, all these dear delegates that they claim to represent the people of Afghanistan have failed to produce any sort of outcome in the last 10 years, and there will be none outcome in future as well. The fact that the Afghan government cannot pay for its service to its people is a known fact, and let's not forget that beyond 2014, when the war leaves, Afghanistan will be in another disaster, and this time, your tanks, the American tanks, the Afghani army has received, and the beautiful equipment that we once wished that had to fight the Taliban will go back again in the hands of the Taliban and their supporters, and they will use their equipment in fighting the international community and the world peace.
We have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed, Jalal Rabbani, via Skype from Ottawa. We've got much